Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to my channel, Whiskey Journey. So the whiskey that we're going to be looking at today is from independent bottler Carn Mor, and the distillery that they chose to bottle was the Bunnahabhain distillery in Ireland. So this is a 16-year-old and distilled in 2004, and it was matured in a sherry butt. The strength is 55.5% volume. A natural cask strength, and it's a total of 534 bottles. Quite limited, fairly limited. I've been a big fan of Carn Mor for a good few years, and one thing I will say is that their packaging has changed a lot over the years. I'll do another review at some point of a Glenelgan I got last year, and you'll be able to see the packaging differences straight away. I remember buying Carn Mor just in bottles. There was no packaging at all. They've also upped their game with regards to the ABV on their standard bottles. So it was normally 46%, and now they are bottling at 47.5%. But this is part of the celebration of the Cask series that they release. So it's always natural cask strength on this one. I'm quite interested to taste this one again. I haven't tasted it in a while. For a Bunnahabhain, this is going to be peaty. This is a peated Bunnahabhain. So if you're not a fan of peat, don't continue watching, basically. But what we'll do is we'll just do a nosing and we'll do a taste and see what we get with this one. Okay, so onto the nose first. So instantly, I'm getting seaweed, all sorts of coastal, it's got very much a coastal nature, so there's oysters there. There's some dried fruits as well. There's peat. There's earthiness there as well. That earthiness is delightful. Okay. So let's go on to the tasting, shall we? Wow. Just gathering my thoughts there. Apologies. That's a spicy finish. Right, so up front, greeted with coastal notes, seawater, salinity, salt, brine. Then the dried fruits come in the mid palate. And then the finish is when you start getting peat, earthiness, and just lots and lots of salinity, lots and lots of oysters, and all sorts of coastal notes. It really is very good. It's excellent, actually. That's quite a long finish on that as well. I'd say medium to long. I mean, the coastal notes are just... you see, this is... I don't mind sherried Bunnahabhain, like the 12-year-old, etc. But I definitely prefer their peated expressions. This one is quite light on the sherry. So the sherry never really dominates the spirit at all. Let's have another sip quick. So this time up front, I'm getting malt, I'm getting sherry, so there's dried fruits, but not heavy sherry. Mid palate is where, again, the peat starts to come into play with the coastal notes, and then you get that kick of the spicy finish. Lots of spices there, but it's that peat and just the shoreline notes, just your salinity, salts, oysters, fish, brine, that all come into play at the end. That really, really lift this, in my opinion. I think if it just had the sherry character, it just wouldn't be that impressive. But yeah, I mean, 16 years old. I mean, you can taste the maturity in it. Even at cask strength 55%, it's drinks very easily. I haven't added water to this at all. It's just really good, and it's the sort of Bunnahabhain I like. As I said, I definitely prefer peated Bunnahabhain, and I do have other Bunnahabhains in the house at cask strength as well, but this is probably my favourite one. And as I said, I think Carn Mor is a bit underappreciated in the whiskey community. I see a lot of Carn Mor sitting on the shelves. A lot of the time, it's just the ones with lots of colour that sell. I think that one of the reasons maybe this one has sat on the shelves is its price. I mean, it's not cheap. I mean, I think it's about 140 quid. I think probably a bit more than that. So it is expensive, and a lot of people won't be able to afford that. But do I think it's worth that sort of money? For a 16-year-old at cask strength, I think it's still expensive. But at least you're getting to taste peated Bunnahabhain, which in my opinion is at its best. And the spirit just remains intact. And you've got the blanket of sherry in the background. But it's really the coastal peated notes that come through. It's very strong. Even at 16 years of age, maturation, the peat is not been tamed. Perhaps a little bit. It's not quite as peated as I have had with the younger Bunnahabhain. So this is definitely a bit more refined, in my opinion. But yeah, if you can afford it, I would certainly suggest it. Or even if you can get it in in a bar to taste, I think you'll find it highly enjoyable and a really good peated malt. Okay, guys, so that's Carn Mor's celebration of the cask, Bunnahabhain 16-year-old. And highly enjoyable, really, really, really good. Okay, guys, so that's the review for today. If you enjoy my content, please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. But as always, have a fantastic day. Take care.